Hi everyone. So in this video, I want to talk to you about showing the title attribute conditionally based on whether text is overflowing its container or not in Angular. And later we will extend this same logic for Angular Material Tooltip. This will also be a good example of showcasing power of directives and host directives. So I'm sure you will learn a couple of things from this video. So I have prepared this little demo over here where we can change the width of text container using slider, and we can change the text of container using this text area, and we can also change the text quickly using these two action buttons. So first we will start with checking how the title attribute works in browser. So I have this little demo code with me. What I'll do, I'll add a title and I'll say hello in the title. I will save this, and if we look at the output, the title attribute is always visible. If I hover over, it is showing no matter whether text is overflowing or not. This is a normal default behavior of the browser. Now, what we want to do, we want to change this in such a way that when the text is getting overflowed like this, then only we want to show the title. So let's see how we can do this. So to handle our scenario, what we will do, we will remove the title attribute from paragraph tag and we will use a directive instead of this attribute. Let's see. I will remove this title and I already have created a directive called app title overflow, which is present over here. There is no logic right now. What we want to do, we want to use the elements content itself for starters. And I will also create a signal called show title, and it will have value false, and I will use HostBinding to bind the value to title attribute. If we have flag true, then we will return text content of the element, else we will not return anything. Okay, let's see. If I hover over, we are not seeing any title. That is because we have not implemented uh, the logic to change this flag. Or to show the demo, what I will do, I will mark this as true for now. And let's see that. Yes, if I hover over, you can see, we can see the title attribute. Now, what we want to do is we want to show this title with the text content only if text is overflowing its container, right? So to do that, what we can do, we can simply check if scroll width of the element is more than its client width. If that is the case, we will show the title, else we will not. Let's do that. So to do that, what we will do, we will listen to, first of all, mouse enter event. And for arguments, I will pass event.target. I will receive the target as HTML element. And here, what I will do, I will check if scroll width is more than client width, then we will mark the flag as true. So simply show title.set scroll width greater than client width. Okay. I will also mark the initial value as false. Let's see. If I hover over, we are not seeing the title. If I make the text longer, then we can see the title. If I keep it short but reduce the width, then also we can see the title. If I keep it short but increase the width, now it is not showing up. So this was a very simple case of using HTML DOM elements properties, scroll width and client width. And we can check if it is more than client width, then we will return a string, else we will return a blank string. So that was a very easy scenario. Now what we want to do, we want to extend similar logic, and we want to apply that to Angular Material Tooltip. You can use that logic for any other library, say Tooltip also. But for this example, we will use Angular Materials Tooltip. And what we want to do, we want to show the tooltip only when the text is overflowing its container. Okay, let's see that. So for Angular Material Tooltip, what we will do, we will start with first of all a separate demo for tooltip. So this is a similar one which I created for app title overflow, but in this I'm using a new directive called app tooltip overflow. Let's save this and we can see we have one demo present over here, which works pretty much same as this. Okay, and for easy preview, what I will do, I will comment out the title demo for now. Now this is the tooltip overflow directive, and right now there is no logic implemented in this. For Angular Material Tooltip, what we will use host directives with our directive. Host directive is a very powerful feature, and it was introduced in Angular 15. By using host directive, we can use Angular Materials Tooltips feature easily within our own directive itself, so that users don't have to pass MatTooltip as a separate directive in their element, right? Let's do that. So I will start with using MatTooltip as a host directive. And then I will also use its instance by injecting MatTooltip. And to see if this works properly or not, what I will do, I will simply set a message in this in after view init hook, and I will set this as element refs content. So message is equal to this dot element ref dot native element dot text content, and we will also import element ref and inject it in our class. To take advantage of TypeScript, what we can do, we can also do like this element ref HTML element, so that it will give us this all the intelligence. Okay, let's save this and see if tooltip is getting showed up or not. Okay, so if I hover over, yes, we can see the tooltip. So you see, right, how powerful host directives are without needing the user to pass MatTooltip as a separate directive. By using just host directive, we can leverage the features of Angular Materials Tooltip within our own directive. Now we want to do similar thing over here. What we want to do, we want to show the tooltip only if text is overflowing its container. Let's do that. Before we start implementing the logic, let's explore Angular Material Tooltips API so that we know how to show, hide, or set the messages of the tooltip. So let's visit the documentation of Angular Materials Tooltip. So to show the basic tooltip, we can show it like this. User can show it like this, but we are programmatically showing the tooltip to, to set the message. What we are doing, we are doing MatTooltip dot message. Now, what we want to do, we want to manually show and hide the tooltip. So let's see this example. Okay, if I click on show, if I click on hide, yes, it is working over here. So let's take a look at the code. So to show the tooltip, we can simply call tooltip.show, and to hide the tooltip, we can simply call tooltip.hide. Okay, so what we will do, we will try to utilize this APIs in our code, and we will implement a logic in such a way that only when text overflows, the tooltip should be shown. Let's do that. So to show the tooltip when text overflows, we will use the similar logic from title directive. We will have one flag to show the tooltip, and we will also add a listener for mouse enter event. Now what we want to do, if the title is true, we want to set the message to its text content, right? And we also want to show the tooltip. I will remove the view init hook usage because we don't need it now. I will save this and let's see if this is working or not. So right now the text is not overflowing, and if I hover over, we cannot see the tooltip. I will make the text longer and then we will see. Yes, I can see the tooltip. It is working fine. Now if I make it shorter and if I hover over, we can still see the tooltip. Let's fix this. So to fix this, if the flag is false, we will make the tooltips message a blank string. Let's see now. Make it long, make it short. It is not showing up. And if I reduce the width, it is showing up, right? So as we saw, we used the similar logic of checking scroll width and client width. And if it is more, scroll width is more than client width, then what we are doing, we are simply setting up the message and we are manually calling the show method of MatTooltip to show the tooltip, right? So everything seems to be working as expected. But actually, we have introduced one bug over here. Let me show you that. Okay, so first of all, what I'll do, I'll make this shorter and I will reset the width. If I hover over, tooltip is not showing up, which is fine and expected. If I make it long and if I hover over, we can see the tooltip. But if I hover out of this paragraph container, the tooltip is not going away. But when I click on anywhere, then it is going away and then it is working fine. So why this is happening? This is happening because we are showing the tooltip manually, programmatically using MatTooltip's API. And from second mouse enter and mouse leave events, the MatTooltip works as expected because now it is working by listening to its own events, right? Now to fix this, what we can do, we can listen to mouse leave event and we can identify if user is leaving the container for the first time. We can have one more flag, for example, like user left for the first time, and uh, we can try to handle that edge case scenario. But that is not the right way to handle this issue. On top of that, Angular Materials Tooltip not only works on mouse enter and mouse leave events, but it also handles touch events on mobile devices. Like when you keep your mobile device touched for a longer duration, then your tooltip will show up. So such scenarios are not handled through our directive. And if we try to handle all those edge cases, it will be a very long code and it will be very difficult to debug all these scenarios. So to solve this bug, what we can do, we can leave the events to Angular Material Tooltip and we can try to simplify this process to just changing the message, because Angular Materials Tooltip will automatically show up and hide whenever user hovers over this container thanks to host directive. So what we can do, we can try to just handle the message of the tooltip in such a way that when text overflows, we will set the message, otherwise we will set it to blank. Okay, let's try to do that. So it's clear that we can't use mouse enter event. So we need to find out a way through which we can identify whether text is overflowing the parent container or not. To do that, what we can do, we can try to utilize mutation observer from JavaScript. So mutation observer is an interface which provides a way to watch for changes in a DOM tree. We are not going to directly use mutation observer over here. Uh, Angular materials team has also a library called Angular CDK, and they provide a directive called CdkObserveContent. We will use that. So before using that, let me show you some example and APIs of CdkObserveContent. If you go to CDK and go to observers, you will see we have CdkObserve content, and they have written that Observer package provides a convenience directive built on top of native web platform observers such as Mutation Observer. As you can see over here, we can utilize CDK observe content to identify if the content is changed or not. And if we go over here, we have a directive called CDK observe content, and it has a property called event which gets emitted whenever there is a change in elements content. So we can use this in our case. We can listen to event to identify if the content is changed, and then we can decide whether to show the tooltip or not. Let's try that. Again, host directives to the rescue. What we will do, we will utilize CDK observe content. We will inject CDK observe content, and we will listen to its event in our constructor. Whenever it gets changed, we will subscribe, and then we will check for scroll width and line width from native element, and we will set the flag, and if that flag is true, we will set the message to its text content, else we will set the blank string. Now, Angular Materials Tooltip is smart enough in way that if it receives a blank string in a message, it will not show the tooltip on its own. Okay, let's see if this is working fine or not. So text is shorter and we have more width. It is not overflowing. The tooltip is not showing up. If I make it long and if I hover over, we can see the tooltip. And if I hover out for the first time, it is showing up and hiding up fine. Let's reset it and test it again. I'm making it longer and hovering over, hovering out. You can see it is working as expected because now we are leaving events to the Angular Material Tooltip. We are allowing it to handle the events and we are simply setting and resetting the message. So this is working fine. But there is still one bug even with this CDK observe content. Let me show you that. So if we change the text and see the tooltip, it is working fine. But if I make it shorter and change the width, and now if I hover over, you can see the tooltip is not showing up. And the reason behind this is because we are only using CDK observe content, which uses mutation observer behind the scene. And mutation observer only listens to content changes and not the size changes. So for size changes, we will need to use ResizeObserver. ResizeObserver is also similar to Mutation Observer, but ResizeObserver listens to the container or the elements size changes. So we had CDK observe content for Mutation Observer, but for ResizeObserver, we will have to come up with our own solution. So to listen to the resize events, we will create our own observable on top of ResizeObserver. I have already created one, which I'll show you. So this is a from ResizeObserver observable, uh, which listens to resize observer's event and it disconnects whenever the observable gets unsubscribed. So this is a simple observable on top of ResizeObserver. What we will do, we will use that along with CdkObserver content. So to use both of those, what we will use merge operator from rxjs, and we will use from observer, and we will also use CdkObserve content, and then we will listen to events from both of this. So this will get executed whenever there is content change or size change. Let's try this out. So currently the content is short, tooltip is not showing up, I'm making it long. The tooltip is showing up, I'm making it short again. Tooltip is not showing up, which is expected. I'm reducing the width. Now I'm hovering over, we can see the tooltip is showing up, right? So we saw that using ResizeObserver and CdkObserveContent, we can listen to both the changes, content changes as well as size changes. Now don't forget to unsubscribe this from your ng destroy hook, or what you can do, you can also use take until destroyed operator. So this will make sure that your subscription is unsubscribed whenever the component or directive is destroyed, right? So don't forget to use that, or don't forget to unsubscribe manually in your ng on destroy hook. So this is working fine and as expected. If I increase the width, it is still overflowing, but we can still see the tooltip. And if I reduce the content from over here, we can not see the tooltip. If I reduce it, the tooltip is showing up, right? I hope you liked this video, and let me know your thoughts and feedbacks in comment section, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.